Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I am Conrad, and this is the Footy 5, and it is time for our best guess at the 2021-2022. That's a mouthful of twos.
Look, I keep on saying
Premier League
2020, 2022. I'm never going to get the 21-22 correct.
It's too many 20s.
It's going to take me
too
till
many twos.
November at least for me to start getting that right.
So we have a decent amount of knowledge, but we've also got 2 weeks less of the transfer window, so these things are very difficult to do, but we're going to do it anyways. And tell us where we're loud wrong, where you think we're going to be actually maybe pretty accurate, or if we're just fools.
Yeah, and then we can prove you wrong in 8 months' time.
So we're going to start with the bottom half, 11 through 20, and these are kind of in 3 categories here. You've got kind of the peaceful third, if you will, of the 11 through 13 spots where you're just happy to be there. Maybe you're underperforming, you expect to be top half, or you're overperforming like a Brentford or whomever might be coming up and is doing well and it's kind of shocking some people. And then you've got the folks that are in panic once you get into that 16 and 17, and then you've got your absolute peril in those 18 and 19 and 20 spots.
Yeah.
We will start at number 11, and we're recording this. Neither of us know what the other picked, so we're going to find this out as you find it out.
This is my choice, and I think this is going to be chaotic, and I love
it.
it.
It was a late decision on this one. So 11. I'm going to go first on 11?
Yeah, we'll alternate. You go first.
All right, I'll go first with 11, and I have Aston Villa.
Okay.
And 11.
I have Brighton and Hove Albion at 11.
That's pretty high for
Yeah.
Brighton.
So my rationale for that is they were the biggest underperformer of their XG last year. You lost Ben White, but I think that they've got enough replacements to kind of fill that gap. If you can at least get closer to scoring as many goals as you were expected to,
they
are
had
going to.
Such bad luck.
Graham Potter is one of the best managers in the league. I think that top half is possible for them, but I think 11th is a very comfortable spot.
I mean, they picked up Mwepu, I don't even know how to pronounce the dude's name, from Salzburg for $21 million. Sherpin, $4.5 million. Ajax, both young, 21 and 23. 21 for Sherpin, Mwepu, 23 for Brighton. But I think this is where Villa ended up last year. And we talked about how poorly they performed in the second half, in the 12 matches without Grealish. They're going to have an entire season without Grealish. They have brought in Buendia, Danny Ings, Leon Bailey, Ashley Young on a free, Axel Tuanzebe on loan from Man United. So is that enough?
You see them as plateauing.
I think they're going to stay where they are. Yeah. I mean, the thought was they're going to regress, but I think they have enough to at least stay where they are. And Dean Smith's a good manager. So.
Yeah. I won't reveal why Villa yet, but I think that the talent that they've done to replace him, they're going to be inferior in some aspects. They don't have the danger man that they did in Grealish, but they have filled some other areas. So they're a very exciting team. They're tough to gauge where they're going to be at next season.
12, who you got?
I have West Ham United.
Oh, what a fall off.
Yeah, so I had a high Brighton and a low West Ham.
See, you underestimated West Ham last year. I had them getting relegated. So you're a West Ham hater.
I still have our predictions from last year. This paper will never leave this table. West Ham, I had them in 18th last year.
I have Brentford.
Wow, that's high. That's high.
You heard me say it in the lead.
Yeah. So West Ham for me, the fans returning is almost a curse for them. I think that they are a side who
they like the silence.
They like the silence. I think it's in my opinion, it's no surprise that this squad, which has a lot of talent in comparison to other squads, at least West Ham squads last few years, really did perform quite highly. And that's not to say that they're going to completely fall off the face of the earth. I think they could have a good European campaign, but with the extra legs required for Europe, they may have a good run there, but they may regress in the Premier League a bit.
They brought in Dawson and Alphonse Areola. He's a keeper.
So they're going to have Fabianski, Areola, really good goalkeeper depth, but that's not what you're going to need with the European
Felipe
campaign.
Anderson and Balbuena, and you could Balbuena free.
I think that if
Anderson, $2.7 million to Lazio.
Jared Bowen being linked to Liverpool, if he goes, they could try and replace him with some money there, but I think that West Ham are going to regress a bit.
I think it's hard to – I don't disagree. I don't have them regressing to 12 quite like you do, but I do like Brentford. I think they are a very well-organized, very well-run club. Am I crazy for putting them at 12? Probably, but as you see the rest of this fall, I just see this. I think they're going to be able to capitalize on some misfortunes of others. So 13th, I have Wolves repeating their. I think they were in 13th or 14th last year, right?
They were in 13th. Yes, you have them in the same spot.
They're losing Patricio. We don't know what's going to happen with Ruben Neves. He's rumored to go to Arsenal. He's rumored to go to Man United. Who knows what's happening?
I have
no Nuno. You've got Bruno Lagin as your Portuguese manager from Benfica. Third place finish last year, second place the year prior.
I have Newcastle United.
That's high.
So I have them. That's one spot lower than last year.
I don't trust Steve Bruce.
I actually credit to myself. I was spot on with Newcastle in 12th last year. I think Newcastle's talent level is very high still. I think Bruce has actually added, I forget his name, but he's added a really good assistant coach.
Joe Willock. Oh, you're talking about that. You're trying to get Willock back on a permanent.
They're getting
deal.
Willock on a permanent. That's a great transfer. I think they're not going to be flooded with relegation like they were 2 years ago.
I don't understand Newcastle.
Neither do I.
I'm just going to say that.
But I think that
I didn't know where to put them.
In my opinion, they're in that top third. So
They're losing to Atsu, Carroll, Lejeune, Mudo, all on expired contracts. I don't think any of that matters. Carroll was just an injury waiting to happen for that club.
Yeah.
But Joe Willock for $25 million.
That's a good deal. That's a really, really good deal. He's young. He'll help you now. He was one of the leading scorers when the late end of the season for them. My 14th place is a team you had a bit higher than me is Brentford. So I think that Brentford are going to surprise people. Some people have them getting relegated. I think they're going to surprise people. I mean, Tony, their striker, saying they want to win the Prem is not going to happen. I'm comfortable saying that.
Megan, let me tell you who I got.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have Norwich, 14.
Wow, that is high.
I think Daniel Fark learned from their mistakes of playing a little bit too open. Yeah, they lost Buendia, but they brought in some good talent. A lot of young folks. I mean, Rashika's not young. He's 25 from Werder Bremen. Sargent, American. $8.5 million from Werder Bremen. Ben Gibson, Giannoulis. They bought a lot of guys. They bought a lot more players than they did the first time they came up, which is interesting. And these guys have a lot of experience.
I actually talked to Michael Bailey, who's the athletic reporter for Norwich, and he mentioned that they're going to be more pragmatic this time around. They're going to learn that you can't come in ignoring things. Like Leeds did that, but Leeds were a better side than Norwich were. So I think that they're going to be more defensively focused. They're probably going to play like a 3-4-2-1 because they don't have a defensive mid. Where I have Norwich is not going to speak to how highly I rate them, but
obviously not as highly as I do.
I think that it's so tough. The quality of the Premier League has been increasing year on year on year because nobody can spend this window except for Premier League clubs and the clubs that have rich owners.
That's a lot. I mean, 19 million, 8.5 million, 8.4 million.
It is
6.7 million, 5.4 million. I mean, that's like 50 million that they've spent.
I have
Billy Gilmore on loan.
Brentford 14th because I think that they have lofty expectations of winning the Prem, but they will kind of settle for survival this season at 14th.
15. Who's first? I think I'm first. Crystal Palace. I was not high on them last year. I had them getting relegated. I have them doing slightly better.
Actually, they were 14th last year, so you have them going slightly down, actually.
Oh, that's right. Oh, didn't I have them going relegated?
You had them relegated last year in 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, comparing like my confidence.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of interesting business. Obviously, Patrick Vieira, 2 years in the MLS, 2 years in Ligue 1 in France, and I don't know if it's enough, but he's got Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, West Ham. Could put pressure on him early. The betting favorite to be one of the first managers sacked, along with another manager we'll talk about later, probably works for a club that sounds like Schmotford.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, that's just Atford at its best, isn't it? My 15th is Wolves. I think that they were 13th last year. They've lost a bit of talent. Jimenez isn't back at his best. You're changing managers. You're not going to get relegated. You may flirt with it a bit this season. But I just don't see them falling off to the point where they get relegated, in my opinion. I just think that they are going to be a low mid-table side, and that's all there is to that, in my opinion. And my 16th is Burnley. So I have them surviving yet again. Burnley just edging survival. They're not going to lose Tarkovsky most likely because Vestergaard is heading to Leicester City. And Deitch is going to sign a new contract if reports are to be believed.
Vestergaard is moving. That's a done deal.
Yeah. Basically.
I don't have Burnley that high. I'm worried about Burnley.
Who's your 16?
I have Brighton, 16th.
Yeah, so I had Brighton 11th. So I think you don't think they're going to produce the goals they need.
I think the other teams are going to be better.
That's
I mean, I don't know that it's going to be down to Brighton. I think it's going to be these other clubs are just going to be as hungry. I mean, you've got what Brentford and Norwich have done from a spending and organizational perspective, as well as Norwich just learning and not making the same mistakes, make it difficult for a club like Brighton.
I think Brighton have learned in the Prem though. That's why I have them so high.
I like them a lot. I don't like them in 16. I think they're probably better than that, but I couldn't find a way to get them any higher.
I mean, it's tough to say these teams are going to be bad because really injury will probably be one of the biggest factors for these teams struggling. So who's your 17?
Newcastle United.
You know what? And I could defend Newcastle anywhere from 17th to 9th, in my opinion. This is a team that is such a wide range.
I don't understand.
That's such a wide range.
That was the only note I wrote about Newcastle. I don't understand Newcastle.
My 17 is where did you have Palace?
15.
Yeah, I have Wolves are next. I have Palace in 17th in mine. I think that they are. Vieira is very inexperienced. We love our Americans. We love him coming from the MLS. He's obviously French, but
Arsenal legend.
I don't know if he's going to cut it. And I think that they made some good signings. They have Eze, they have Zaha, so they have good top end. I don't know. For me, they don't seem as exciting as other teams. They've kind of slightly improved, but other teams have made better strides around them.
I think got them safe.
I have them safe, yeah. So they'll be happy for that.
We've got some similarities we have 2 similarities in our bottom 3.
Yeah. So my 18th is Southampton. I think that the loss of Ings, the loss of Vestergaard, it's going to be devastating for them, in my opinion.
Ings, Angus Gunn, he's a backup keeper. He wasn't doing much.
Is Southampton?
Lamina, Ryan Bertrand hurts a lot.
Is Southampton your 18?
No, my 18 is Burnley.
So you haven't get relegated?
Yeah, because I haven't talked about him yet. They've picked up Nathan Collins, $12.6 million from Stoke. That's what Sean Dyche gets from years and years of why can't we add?
He's going to get a new contract.
Ben Gibson to Norwich.
He's going to get a new contract. They might try and sign another player the rest of the window.
If I'm him, I don't know. Sign a contract. I would sign a 1-year deal.
And he has 1 year left on his contract. I think in my opinion, he keeps them up and then he moves on. So I think that's why
1 year older for that club. 1 year more frustrating for Dyche. Yeah. They just haven't turned it over. Like
that does make sense. Look, I have only Burnley. I had them in 16th. I had Southampton 18th. I had Burnley 16th. So I see them in and around that area because they haven't done the moves that Dyche needs to push the side forward. His goal is survival, and I think he'll do that.
19, I have Southampton.
I have Norwich 19th, which upsets me because I love them as a club. I love Farke. I think they have some really great players. But I think they're a player or two short in a few spots. They've had a really bad preseason in terms of their fitness, and their first 4 matches are brutal. It's Liverpool, Man City, Leicester, Chelsea, something like that. They're going to get punched in the mouth in the first 5-10 matches, and I just worry that with so many teams improving, can you recover from such an early deficit? You look at Sheffield United. Are they going to be winless in however many matches they were?
What happened to Adford 2 years ago?
I think that, in my opinion, Norwich are going to struggle deeply.
So the problem I have with Southampton is when you look from January 1 this year through May 23rd, the final day of the season, they were dead last in the Premier League. And
after beating Liverpool,
wasn't really close.
And Hasenhüttl started crying on the field. They just capitulated.
Fell apart. If you can't score goals, you're not going to score points, and you lose your talisman. 12-4 in 28 matches or 29 matches for Ings. It hurts a lot. Is Theo Walcott enough? Free? No. They sell James Ward-Prowse. Pack your bags, and you're heading to the championship because it sounds like he's on his way out if Vestergaard's also.
Yeah, I think that Southampton have not done a good job of replacing that talent, and it's not even on the fault of Hasenhüttl. I like him as a manager, but it's just that they've lost talent when everyone else has gained talent.
Yes, they have sold off so much amazing talent, a lot of it to Liverpool.
So I'm surprised you have Everton 20th. You've Watford this afternoon.
No, we have shockingly.
Watford, yeah. See, Watford for me, it's maybe they'll surprise everyone. I think they're the favorite for relegation, aren't they? I mean,
everybody has them bottom.
Look, I don't understand. They are a yo-yo team. They are a yo-yo team. They go up, they go down.
I think they've been promoted and relegated more than any other team in Premier League history.
Yeah, I mean, looking at their histories, they were in the Prem for 5 seasons between 2015 and 2020. But I think there's going to be a yo-yo team for the next few years. They haven't improved their talent because they don't have the money to. And they need to keep their wage bill consistent.
Luza from Nantes at $9 million, Emmanuel Dennis from Bruges, Pollock from Grimsby Town, Danny Rose on a free, Ashley Fletcher on a free, Josh King on a free, and they've lost Craig Dawson, they've lost Ben Wilmot, and a bunch of expiring contracts. I think Zisco is their manager. He's the only one. Maybe the I couldn't name the Wolves manager, but I had to look up who Zisco was because he's the only manager I couldn't name, and he's probably going to be the first one to get sacked.
Yeah, I mean Watford have high expectations from their owners down, but I don't think they have the talent to stay up.
I mean, he came from Dino Tbilisi in the middle of the season. Shocking that Watford would change managers in the middle of a season.
It worked. Clearly, they got up.
But I don't see him. He's joint favorite for the first manager to be sacked, along with Patrick Vieira. I think it could get ugly for Watford. All right, that is the bottom half of the table. The relegатeds for me: Burnley, Southampton, Watford, and you had Southampton, Norwich, and Watford.
I did.
We agreed on one of the bottom half. I don't know how close we were in terms of overall. You did not. You have Villa in the top half.
I do.
That's interesting.
So 10th. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first.
I have Everton Football Club. Rafa Benitez, their new manager. 10th last year, 10th this year.
They're a small club.
They have lost a bit of talent in terms of Cliff Sigurdsson and his.
Oh, Sigurdsson's gone?
Well, non-footballing reasons, we'll call it that. His police issues.
Oh, yeah. See, that's why he didn't show up on the transfer list, just because he's
he's in. I don't know if he's again. We alleged.
Not a good person.
We can't say these things. We can't say he's allegedly a bad person. James Rodriguez saying how upset he was that Carlo left. Rafa Benitez is a good manager, but he's not as good as Carlo. No. And look, they're going to be fine. They're going to be top 10. They still have some good talent. I think where Charleston's tremendous, Digne's tremendous.
So
Pickford.
You have Everton 10.
I have Everton.
I have Everton 10. Also.
Okay, yeah. Wait, look, we agreed. Very first one. I think that
except for Watford.
They have got some good pieces.
You lost Bernard,
but
Walcott, lost King, lost Pennington.
The project they were building under Ancelotti is completely just so much turnover. Not literal player turnover, but in terms of the mentality. So
I mean, you get players like Moise Kean, Cenk Tosun. Not John Joe Kenny probably not gonna do much, but are you gonna play Moise Kean now?
He's gonna be good. He's gonna be a good addition, but in my opinion, their issues are more so in midfield-ish because Rodriguez can he play? Sigurdsson, he's obviously not gonna be playing as much, if at all. Allen's good, yeah, but for me, Everton are tough to see higher than 10th or top half, yeah, but I don't see them breaking
10,001 or plus 10,000 on winning, so. 9th, I have Spurs.
Wow, that's low. I have Aston Villa in 9th.
I think Nunes needs a year to kind of figure things out. They can't seem to get Lautaro Martinez over the line. 71 million. He rejected it. Who knows what happens with Harry Kane?
Look, I think Kane's going to stay. I think that Romero's a tremendous signing. I think Brian Gill.
Was he a loan or was he a buy? I've seen both.
I think he's a loan.
A $47 million option or something?
Yeah. Something like that next summer. I think that Brian Gill's going to be a good option. They have a good backup goalkeeper now.
Golini.
Yeah, they're going to make one or two extra moves, I think. They've done some good things this summer.
They lost Lamela, goal of the season. They lost Gareth Bale. Vinicius is back on loan to Benfica. Obviously, Alderweireld gone. Foyth gone. But I think, Alderweireld, Vinicius, and Bale are probably the three biggest losses for them.
Yeah, losing Bale
is they get Kane and then use that $100 million to do something, but we're running out of time. It's 2 weeks left.
Bale is a big loss because he had 11 goals for them last season, but I think Gill is young. Will step into that. Sessegnon back from loan. Maybe he steps up a bit more. He's
Europa Conference League.
Yeah, that is going to be a big issue for them. But my 9 is Aston Villa, so I should talk about them a bit. In my opinion, they were 11 last year. I see them passing West Ham and passing Everton. That's as simple as it is for me. I think that they have not done enough to regress beyond anybody below them, and they've done enough to go ahead of those two because their overall squad is tremendous, even losing Jack Grealish. Martinez, one of the best goalies in the league. I'm comfortable saying that. Cash Target, one of the best fullback duos. Konsa, Mings, maybe that's a starting center back duo. Tremendous center back duo.
I can see them being 10th Villa. I can't see them.
I think that
better than the other folks that I've got.
Losing Grealish makes it tough for me to say European places, but
they were so poor without him. That's what they've got to figure out. Because Dean Smith never had to really figure out how to play without him because he always knew he was going to come back, so he didn't really change anything. Now he's got to figure out what is he going to do differently.
That I think opens up a lot of opportunities. They're not so reliant on one man. You have Buendia, you got Bailey. Very good signings there.
They're really, really good.
You have Watkins. You have Ings. You've got some really, really good options now.
Ings can stay healthy. That's always the question.
I think that Aston Villa are a very good option for top half.
All right. I think 8, you're first.
I have Arsenal.
Me too.
Wow, look at us.
Here's my notes for Arsenal. I don't know.
Yeah,
They brought in Ben White.
Lukonga.
That's it. 16 million from Anderlecht for Lukonga, 50 million for Ben White from Brighton. They're losing David Luiz. Odegaard and Ceballos loans are done. They're back. Don't know if those should have been extended, but this is a project.
I love Odegaard. I think Arteta is a few years out on this team. He's got some good young pieces. You know, I think Saka could be a superstar for them.
He could be the young player of the year.
Previewing our player prediction video. They have some good pieces, but they need more time. Will Arteta be given that time if they finish 8th again? I don't know, but I think they're far too inconsistent. And they're top-end players. They're Aubameyangs, they're Lacazettes, they're Xhakas. Are they going to push the needle for you? No, they're not, in my opinion. So I think 8th is very, very fine. They are, again, not pushing past anybody. Well, I haven't pushing past, I think, one team, but I have someone past them as well. I'll preview my 7 then if we're ready to move on. I have Leeds United.
I have West Ham United in 7th.
You haven't said Leeds then yet, have you?
Sure haven't.
Wow.
So you said you have Leeds in 7th? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
So I think West Ham, they could flip-flop with Spurs, to be honest with you. I think that's the one thing that could change. I don't see Arsenal moving anywhere other than 8th. West Ham, we talked about them. They were a huge surprise last year, going all the way up into the 6th-place finish. I don't think they do that. I've only got to move them back to 7th, and they probably can move back to 9th.
Fans. Here's the reason why I have Leeds in 7th. Fans. Here's the reason why I have West Ham in 12th. Fans.
Well, I have Leeds in 6th. I have them Europa League. They were one of the best teams down the stretch last season, and there's no reason to believe that won't continue.
Yeah.
They lost Alioski. That's the biggest loss that they had. We
I
did a
think
preview on this one.
Could be a better. Furbo could be a better
100%.
left back, yeah.
And Harrison, really good signing. Clayson, interesting signing. Low money, 20 years old.
And they're going to add someone else in the midfield potentially. You know, I think that they are people aren't talking about them enough as a team that's going to improve. They're saying, oh, can you live up to the first season? Well, the first season they underperformed almost in my eyes from what they could have done.
Yeah, if they stay healthy and a little less leaky, as we talked about when we did the Perfect Windows conversation around them.
They learned from the first 2 months of the Prem. Now, if they learn from an entire...
And Bielsa is a fantastic manager.
Yeah. For me, they're very high contenders for a place in Europe. That's why I have them in 7th. My 6th place is Tottenham. So I think that they are going to improve by one place.
Last year.
I had Tottenham in 3rd last year. I'm not going to have them make that mistake.
Jose Mourinho, manager of the year.
But I think that this is kind of an in-between. I think they have one of the best squads in the league. I think they have
he needs a year.
I think they have the 5th best squad in the league, but the change of things may pull them back a bit. I think Kane won't be his best. He'll be there, but he won't be his best. So I think that 6 in my eyes, they'll win some of the matches they should win. They may struggle against the bigger sides. 6 is fine for me.
5, I have Leicester City yet again missing out on the top 4.
And 5th, prepare yourself. I have Manchester United.
I figured you were going to do that.
My opinion is that Man United failed to fix the one problem spot in their squad that I think was most prevalent is their defensive mid issue.
The guy in the dugout? Oh, no, sorry.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in my opinion, is not even a top 10 manager in the league. I think he is. If he did, I mean, it's obvious. If he didn't score that goal in the '99 Champions League final, he's not even close to this position. I mean, if we're being honest, like he is going to hold this team back so far. And
I don't disagree. I think the holding midfielder that you mentioned, partner Pogba, is a huge problem.
And the holding midfielder issue could be fixed if it was a manager who I trusted more than Solskjaer. But Solskjaer is not tactically talented enough, not as good a coach, to figure out a way to maximize Pogba, play Bruno elsewhere from a 10, and be able to play a 4-3-3. They need to change things up a bit. They cannot play the 4-2-3-1 with Fred and McTominay, which is what they're going to do.
That's all he ever does.
And they fail to break teams down.
If you look at the 38 matches in the Premier League, and you look at their formation, just about every time 4-2-3-1, and then Fred and McTominay.
Yeah, because he's too reliant on
Pogba has no home and no partner.
Pogba on the left wing is terrible. He's not going to be playing there anymore.
Stupid.
Pogba, I think, is they're trying to keep him around. But why? You want to give him £400,000 a week, but you're not putting a system around him that does
not
it.
Taking advantage of talent.
And maybe you could blame Pogba for, after all these years, not being able to adapt. But at the end of the day, you have one of the best midfielders in the world, and you cannot get the best out of him. I think that their failure of signings. Yes, Sancho is good. Yes, Varane is good.
Varane's not yet. I mean, he hasn't cleared quarantine, and
he's done. But they have a shaky start due to the preseason and lack of bedding out of some of their new signings. Then they have an incredibly tough October to November schedule. They're going to get punched in the mouth pretty early on, and Solskjaer is going to stay around because the owners don't have the guts to fire him. But Man United are not going to get Champions League this year. You know what? I mean, I haven't seen their Champions League group yet because it's August 11th.
Draw hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
They may. Man United have some weird juju about them. They may not make it out of their Champions League group 2 straight years in a row. They're a very weird side.
I'm going to go win the Europa League. I have them in 4th. Obviously, runner-up to Man City last year. And hard to tell if that was a function of their success. I don't think it was. I think it was Liverpool's injuries, Leicester falling apart down the stretch, the Lampard mess at Chelsea, Arsenal struggling, and Spurs just general rudderlessness. Yeah. So I don't think they actually earned second place. I think they kind of tripped their way up
My
there.
4th place is Leicester City. This is probably pretty high, and this is going to be the one that's going to bite me in the butt the most, I think.
They fell apart the last 2 seasons.
But
I don't trust them.
I think that Daka...
they've got a little more depth.
Soumare, tremendous signings. Vestergaard, they're bringing in another tremendous signing.
No Fuchs, no Matty James, no Wes Morgan, no Cengiz Under. Who cares?
They're going to be a good side, in my opinion.
But that's depth.
They're going to be top 4. They've handled a European campaign now 2 years running, 1 year running.
Just for 1 year.
2 years of qualification, 1 year of they've experienced it. So they'll get their players. I think they'll manage the start of the season
Bertrand,
and then get
pick.
players back late on. In terms of James Justin, maybe Fofana in 2022.
I don't think he's going to play the season.
I think he'll come back.
He's ugly.
All right, who's your 3rd place?
Liverpool Football Club.
In 3rd place, I have the defending champions, Manchester City.
Interesting.
So let's hear your thoughts on Liverpool.
I think they can challenge as long as they stay healthy. The front 3 are going to benefit from a better midfield, which is benefiting from a better center back pairing that you should have consistency. Bringing in Konate was a stroke of genius, 36 million. The problem I see them is how do you replace Jorginho Wijnaldum's 3,000 minutes across 38 matches, right? And is it going to be Curtis Jones? What's going on with Jordan Henderson in the contract situation? Thiago, is he going to step up? I think Fabinho is going to be stellar. I think they've got an opportunity to do it, but their goal assist production out of Wijnaldum won't be missed because he got 2 goals, 0 assists. But the work he did isn't what Thiago does. It's what Henderson does. Henderson can do that, right? But has he got plantar fasciitis or has he got Liz Frank? I never remember which one it is.
I don't remember either. So in 3rd, I have Manchester City, which is a very bold one. I think it's safe to say. In my opinion, they're going to lose a few of their key players in rotation. So, I mean, Stone signing a new deal with Ruben Diaz means that Laporte, in my opinion, is out. I think that Bernardo Silva needs to be out if they're going to sign Kane. And if they sign Kane, then they're all in on the Champions League, and they're going to let the Premier League be in the back seat.
I don't disagree with any of that because I have them in 2nd.
Yeah. In 2nd place, I have Chelsea Football Club.
So you can see where we're going here.
So you have You have Chelsea first.
Chelsea first.
I have Liverpool first.
City 2nd. I do agree that they are that City will be all guns aimed at the Champions League. And Liverpool, they have it. They feel a little tired to me. That front 3 is what I'm a little bit concerned about. And can Jota give them enough to stimulate some production out of
And why Chelsea first?
4th place finish last year. They were the best team, second best team in the second half from January 25th when Tuchel took over, but they were still 10 points behind City. Even though, they played phenomenal football. They conceded the least goals by far, and they won the Champions League over City, obviously. 2nd on the table after his arrival. Romelu Lukaku is the difference maker for me because he's going to make Werner and Havertz that much better because he's gotten so much more creative. He had 10 assists to go with his 24 goals at Inter. He's a machine. I think he's going to do. It's just hard to believe he's been gone from Chelsea for 7 years, to be honest with you. But so put those wingers around him, it's a complete picture. And Tammy Abraham he's going to go. I think he's pretty pissed off. But
so I have Chelsea 2nd, Liverpool first, as you can see on the screen here, maybe somewhere. Chelsea, they're 2nd place, and this makes me a bit surprised. They're not going to win a title under Tuchel. Winning the Champions League papered over a lot of flaws from last season. Lukaku doesn't fix those flaws, in my opinion.
I think he's got a year now to figure it out.
Today, we saw the Villarreal match. It showed every issue they have. They have players who don't care sometimes. They have so much talent, but I don't think Tuchel is the guy to get it out of them, in my opinion. Yeah, he's a great manager, but I don't think he was not brought here for the long term. He's not going to be around.
Well, nobody in the Premier League beyond 3 years. Like that's
besides Jurgen Klopp, who I have in first place. Yeah. So okay, Liverpool finished 2 points ahead of Chelsea, 5 points behind Manchester United, and what is that? 17 points behind Manchester City
with 17 different center back pairings or something.
And they went into the summer and they signed 4 center backs. That's how I'm looking at it. This is a team that had Nat Phillips and Reece Williams and beat Man United 4-2 at their own turf. I mean, I don't think that you can look at this Manchester United side or this Chelsea side and say that they are better than Liverpool when Liverpool, under Jurgen Klopp and with those pieces, did what they did with absolute crap. Jorginho Wijnaldum is not a starting midfielder for Liverpool. I don't care how much he played. Their best midfield 3 last season and this season was Jordan Henderson, Thiago, and Fabinho. And when fit, Naby Keita is 4th choice. Jorginho Wijnaldum's minutes, yes, will be missed, but his minutes are the most replaceable. What the role that he does is the most replaceable.
Well, because he doesn't contribute on the score sheet, but he does things that nobody pays attention to.
Yeah, I agree, but being there is the issue. But the role he plays is very replaceable. This team still has, in every position, they're starting 11.
They've got a top 3 player.
Top 3 player in the
I
league.
don't disagree.
And their depth is being glossed over. Simikas making serious returns as a left back. I think that Takumi Minamino returning from loan is a big deal. They're going to move on Divock Origi or Xherdan Shaqiri and bring in a forward or two.
I think they need to from a competitive perspective just to get that front three.
And Naby Keita getting a full preseason. Joel Matip getting a full preseason. This team is going to walk the league.
Healthy.
This team is going to walk the
Ooh.
league. I'm comfortable saying that. Fans are back. They have actual depth in their squad.
I never changed the lower third.
To what?
The top half.
No, well, it's the top half now.
70% European, 30% nothing.
Yeah. Look, Liverpool, I'm comfortable saying this, are going to walk the league. Chelsea in second place are going to be a 10-plus point second place. It will actually be even bigger than this 12-point margin we see between Manchester City and Manchester United.
I think what part of this is just not wanting to see City win 4 out of 5. I think we need something different. You know, just personally, I'd like to see a little bit more.
You talk about Liverpool being worn out. Manchester City, they're worn out for everything except for the Champions League. They're laser focused on that. They're going to be bored for Brentford away in
Grealish,
March.
I think it's going to be a shot in the arm, and he's going to do a lot of things for that club.
I think Grealish, yes, he could, but I don't think that big fish, small pond,
15 assists for Grealish. Watch that number.
I think that, in my opinion,
maybe more.
Manchester United ain't in the top 4, and Liverpool are going to walk the league. I'm comfortable saying that.
All right, now it's your job to tell us how just completely wrong we are. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to just switch a slide to go to the end of this thing. That's our top. That's the table for us. Awkward dismount. Jack, Conrad, this has been the Footy 5, our look at the 2021-2022 Premier League table. Please do let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe, look for us on the Twitter at the Footy 5. Take care now.